Good morning. I'm here to drop in with you all for the second live this week for the Own Your Fire road opener we're going through as a community here. I'm going to go ahead and just give people a few minutes to wander in, show up. I know it's a Saturday morning, so, a lot of people may be sleeping in, but I'm trying to get myself on schedule. I'm trying to get myself, in this place of, straightening by fire a little bit. I have a tendency to stay up way too late at night, kind of burn the midnight oil. And then I get such a late start to the day. I'm really trying to flip-flop that a little bit, get my schedule in order, right in alignment with Pitta season. So I kind of wanted to make sure I showed up on time today, got up early, did what I needed to do to get to bed a little bit earlier and all that good stuff. I'm going to go ahead and switch this over so comments are available. This will remain up for those of you who are not able to make the live. You can catch the replay. And if you're curious about this road opener, what am I talking about? It's a road opener I'm offering to the community here at BroadCoven. And there is an accompanying course. And the course was put out by my other gig, Cobra's Medicine Bag. It's basically an Ayurvedic course. I have 3 in this series. I already opened up one, which is available currently on the Cobra's Medicine Bag website, which is at cobrasmedicinebag.com. And that's for kapha. That was for spring season because it's based on Ayurveda. In Ayurveda, we have a seasonal flow, okay? We flow with things seasonally. The next in line is the one we're starting now, which kicked off with summer solstice for Pitta season. And it's all about bringing the fire forward and moving into activation. And it's not so much about cleansing as it is really clearing out inflammation, managing stress, channeling your energy really effectively, not getting distracted, honing your focus, and making stuff happen. So I'm really looking forward to diving into that with all of you. We're in our initial week right now, which is just about sort of like getting the lay of the land, writing up our mission statement, which we covered in the first live that came in this week on Wednesday. So do check that out. It's called Own Your Fire 40 Days. Let's see, what did I title it? 40 Days to Activate Your Power and Transform Your Life. Okay, so do look for that live. It's already up and the replay is available to be viewed. I will get a playlist going starting today with these lives so you can just easily reference them, catch up when you need to, okay? These are here for additional support, but if you don't have your hands on the course yet, it's completely free, all right? There's nothing to sign up for. You don't need to log in to access it. I'm not getting your emails. There's no upsell, nothing. It's just something I want to pay forward because I'm moving more into my metaphysical work and moving out of the work that I was doing as an Ayurvedic practitioner. Okay, so I have about 27, close to 27 years experience working in the holistic health field as an Ayurvedic practitioner, as a body worker. And I've worked alongside doctors and all that jazz, but I reached a place where I realized I want to head in a different direction in this next stage of my life. That being said, I got so much benefit from the work I did with Ayurveda and applying the science of life to my own life that I really wanted to pass that on and pay it forward. So I'm offering it to all of you because BroadCoven is really about, empowering yourself. And I think, if you know how to take care of yourself, mind, body, spirit, there's no better empowerment than that. So if you're interested in accessing that course so you can work with it in tandem as we move through these 40 days of transformation with each other, you can go to cobrasmedicinebag.com. Right there on the homepage, you will see Own Your Fire. It's got violet flames on it. It's right at the top of the homepage there. You can't miss it. It's a little condensed write-up on the course. And underneath that is a red button that says free access here. Click that button. It'll take you right into the course. You'll see a write-up in the beginning once you pull up that page, kind of just giving a breakdown of what the course is about. And then you'll see the lessons outlined in order. Just click on a lesson. It'll take you right in, and you can get started. Do go through it 1 week at a time. Don't rush ahead. We're journeying through it together. This is week 1, okay? It's all about preparation this week. It's about writing up your mission statement. It's about doing an environmental inventory so you can sort of like get the obstacles out of the way and get a real good solid start. And asking yourself some questions, you know, doing a little system check, seeing where you're at, seeing what needs to be addressed, see where you need to kind of batten down the hatches. Okay, so you can check that out. Hello, welcome. See, somebody's here. You can check that out and just kind of drop in with the first week. So if you're just coming to this now, it's cool. Don't worry about it. You got plenty of time, all right? And you can also take this at your own pace. So go ahead and give that a look through, all right? And next week, we are jumping in with the inflammation cleanse, and that will be starting on Wednesday, okay? So there's a little time here, a little time to get yourself prepared to maybe get some anti-inflammatory foods in your home and just really set yourself up for success. So I wanted to go ahead and just dive right in with this download that came in, do a little collective reading that will help support all of us as we move forward and move into the weekend. Just something to sit and have marinate a bit until next Wednesday when we meet again for our next live. And I wanted to bring up this piece about don't feed the trolls, okay? Like the troll energy is really front and center in the collective consciousness right now. There's going to be a lot of distractions that are going to be surfacing at this time, just with the nature of the current astrology. All right, there's a lot of kind of tension in the air, a lot of agitation, also frustration. All right, and there's just sort of this piece as well that, you know, not everybody is going to be happy about you choosing growth. This piece front and center, it really is a very karmic time. And we don't really understand the way this plays out. You know, I think most of the time we just sort of think people are being jerks, you know. Why is this person being such an agitation when I'm just trying to, like, you know, make something happen for myself, or when I'm investing in myself, or, you know, I'm making a choice that's empowering for me. Why does this have to be so disturbing to another? But it's not even really so much about that. It's not the act of you doing this, you stepping into your power, you choosing what's best for your well-being, you making a decision to grow, you know, to level up, to head to the next stage in your life, move on to the next chapter. It's not so much that that is really the issue. What it is that when we do this and we start kind of like defining our boundaries and we start investing our time and energy in different directions, as it can kind of highlight for people where they're sort of like not showing up in their own lives to do that work. And so it makes it less comfortable for them to stay stuck, is what really happens. But, you know, I don't think this is something that in general people really process on a conscious level when it's going down. It's more operating on the subconscious level. And so there's this piece that, you know, all they know is they feel a certain irritation towards you. But it's sort of because, you know, they're just really having to hold space for what's coming up in them about where they're not progressing in their life. A lot of times people will kind of like hold you back because it allows them to stay more in their comfort zone. there's this thing that happens if you have a lot of people around you and they're starting to grow, they're starting to do new things, they're branching out in different directions, they're leveling up. It's sort of like it highlights where you're kind of at in your own life. I mean, it's just sort of human nature to do this like kind of contrast and compare type of view, of situations. And a lot of times, as much as we don't like it, people would rather kind of like hold you back than have to do the work themselves to, progress in the ways that they're meant to. All right. So the reality is everybody has something worthwhile to contribute. Everybody has certain gifts, that they're meant to bring forward in the world. Everybody has the opportunity to let their brilliance shine, to be a success, all of these things. And yeah, there are certain challenges that we all face in regard to that too, right? Like there's certain things that can hold you back. They can make your road a little rougher. Not everybody is born with a certain kind of like entitlement that makes the way easier for them. There is social injustice in the world. There are economic challenges. I mean, we could go down the list and we could come up with a bunch of excuses, but the thing about excuses is excuses are another kind of troll, excuses are like a troll that keeps you held back. And, if you think about what is a troll, well, modern day, we think of the people that we deal with online. We think of the people we deal with on social media who always got something to say, or, are got some passive aggressive jab they want to bring your way when they see you doing something that you're feeling really good about. They just kind of like feel like, let me just take you down a little notch there. Let me remind you that you're not better than me. There's so much of this like kind of competitive air on social media, which is just silly because there's no need for it really. There's only one you. What you have to offer in the world is completely unique. There's no reason why we can't all elevate. In fact, that's actually the ideal, that we all elevate, that we all take it to the next level, that we all have a rise in consciousness. We're not free until we're all free at the end of the day. I mean, that's what it means to really expand your consciousness. That's what it means to come into that unity consciousness, to recognize that there is no other. We're all in this together. So everybody can elevate, everybody can rise, everybody can go out and get theirs, everybody can have their opportunity to shine. So that is the ideal. But it's a lot harder when you can't use excuses, right? And excuses are a certain kind of troll. They're a kind of troll that we allow to have authority over ourselves, And it can be very easy if you're dealing with that kind of, troll energy online where people are trying to kind of give you a blow to your confidence or, in some way make you feel like what you have to offer isn't where it's at. That can really, start putting you in this mental mind space where you start making excuses, you start buying into that energy. You decide to make an energetic agreement with, these trolls. And then soon you find yourself heading into the same kind of myopic view of your life and its possibilities. You start telling yourself all the reasons why you're wasting your time, that, people don't like what you're doing, that you don't have the support of your friends or your family with the choices you're making in your life, even though they feel really right to you, right? A lot of times too, it can be hard if you're getting some success, if you're getting some traction in your life, and maybe you're dealing with other people that are struggling, or they haven't quite found their track, they haven't quite aligned with their purpose yet. And so a lot of times there can be a subconscious fear of like, you're going to leave me behind, or they feel like maybe they can't relate to you anymore, and maybe in some ways that is true. And that can happen, if you have somebody that's very focused on growth and then the other isn't, there can be a gap, a gap between, that sense of connectedness. And so, there's that piece about what does a troll do? We think back in fairy tales, trolls guard the bridge. You got to pay the troll a price, a toll, if you want to cross the bridge to get to the other side. And so I think that, if you really want to get to the other side, if you think about it, currency, everything's a currency, right? It's all just energy. It's energy that goes in, it's energy that goes out. And ideally, there's just this, continual reciprocal flow, because we don't cling to things, we don't hold to things, we don't try to hold others back, we don't try to hold ourselves back, we don't have this sense of competition, because we know there's more than enough for everyone. Everybody has the opportunity to get ahead in life. Everybody has the opportunity to start wherever they're at, no matter how rough it is, and start to make different choices. And in no way, shape, or form does this, wipe out that there's tragedies in the world, or that people have some really rough mountains to climb in some cases, or a lot they need to rise up out of, because that is a reality. And I'm not about that, like, spiritual bypassing. I'm not about whitewashing things, Some people do have a harder road to hoe, and that's just the fact of the matter, okay? But even so, we always have a choice, no matter what we're facing. If we're going to allow ourselves to be held back, if we're going to allow ourselves to be held down, if we're going to allow ourselves to be oppressed, or if we're going to choose to rise up in whatever way we can that day. And in some cases, maybe sometimes that's just like having the courage to rise and get out of bed and face another day, and that's real, that's real talk. But what this program is about, this course, Own Your Fire, it's about helping you recapture that fire, because with that fire, that Agni fire, is that source, that fuel of transformation. It's that source of activation that can help you transform your life. But first, there's a purification that happens, with fire. Fire burns everything away. And it's like once everything is cleared, then new life can grow. We see this even when there's the destructiveness of like a major fire that goes through and clears a large area of land. Afterwards, it takes time, but growth comes out of that. Growth comes out of that. Things start to bloom. Things start to flourish. The land becomes green and verdant again, right? And so no matter where you're at or what's going on in your life, you can make a choice toward growth. You can make a choice toward growth. And it's so important that when it comes to paying this toll to the trolls, really what it's about is you can choose to pay that toll by focusing your time and your energy on the trolls and feeding the trolls, letting them have this power over you. And those trolls are not just, people outside of you, people that give you a hard time on social media, or the arguments that start online, or any of that stuff, or the backhanded comments from friends, people that you think are supposed to be your friends. And we do have a lot of this kind of action going on in the collective right now, just with the current astrology. Okay, so it's a time of karmic balancing. People are on edge. And there's a lot shifting in the world, and we're all feeling it. Okay, so it's good to give people a little wide, breath at this time, but we also have a lot of aggression in this current astrology, in this lunar cycle. So the trolls are out full force. You're probably noticing it. People are a little bit more agitated. People are a little bit more irritated. And yeah, snarky, taking little jabs, this kind of energy. But you have a choice. You get to choose if you're going to feed the troll, or if you're going to pay the toll, so you can actually get over that bridge and get to the other side and get toward what you want to create for your future. And so that's the goal. these next 40 days, we're building a bridge and we're getting over it. You know, we're opening the road. We're not going to be held back by the trolls. We're not going to be held back by the trolls that come from, you know, friends, family, you know, people around us and their judgments, or, you know, what they think is right for us. We're not going to be held back by the trolls that our own fears, our own insecurities, the stories we tell ourselves, our false narrative, the way we hold ourselves back. And so I thought it would be really good if we just like dived in and we did a little reading here to see what trolls we're dealing with collectively right now, what trolls are kind of guarding that bridge that might get in our way of getting to the other side and getting to that end result that we like outlined in our mission statement. And so I'm going to have a little fun with this one. I'm going to use the Super Awesome Future deck. I'm also working with my playing cards, my Shadow and Light deck, just because it feels like fun, but this is for the entire collective, okay? So even if you're not going through the Own Your Fire Road opener here, you are welcome to drop in and receive this read. I'm shuffling for all signs, shuffling for Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Ophiuchus, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. And we are looking at what are the trolls we might encounter as we build a bridge from where we are right now to where we're looking to get in the future, towards our dreams, towards our visions, towards that success point we're looking to hit in our lives. What are the trolls that might get in our way along the way? Oh, look at this. We got the fox in the hen house. Okay, so these are the subconscious things, the things that are camouflaged, the things that we can't see about ourselves that keeps us from, you know, kind of waking up to the truth of why we're held back, you know. And I feel like this is very significant because I think a lot of times nowadays you hear so many people, I mean, I see it all over social media, I hear about it on YouTube, it's everywhere. People are always blaming others for holding them down and holding them back. And it's like I said, yeah, yes, you know, there is social injustice in the world. And yes, there are ways that you can have a tougher road ahead of you than somebody who maybe just was born with certain privileges or certain advantages, right? But there's a reason why your path is the way that it is. And this is also why the ancestral piece is so important, to really know your roots, know where you come from, because you're here to, you know, you're here to break those curses, those things that have held back those who came before you, you know. They forged the road that you're on now. And so there's this transmutation of energy that's happening at this time where we're all having to look at what we've inherited from our bloodline, and we're being asked to do better. You know, we're being asked to be the fulfillment. Ooh, I love that. This King card came out right as I said that, okay? This is really reminding me of the energy coming in with that Aries North Node, that Aries Point. It's good to be king, you know. It's time to remember who you are. It's time to straighten your crown. It's maybe time to have a little bit of bravery. Maybe what's holding you back with that subconscious influence, that kind of stealth influence, that which is kind of camouflaged and hidden from you right now, because the reality is with fox medicine is about that which is camouflaged. It's what's hidden, it's what's operating beneath the surface, but it's kind of running the show. And so I feel like this is one of those cases, collective, where you may be nervous, you may lack confidence, you may have certain insecurities or things in your life may just feel kind of uncertain right now. And so you feel like not in your most empowered place in terms of trusting your ability to hit the mark, trusting your ability to rise to the challenge, trusting your ability to succeed. You know, I feel like part of what you're dealing with is courage, you know, you're needing some courage, but there's this piece about, you know, sometimes you have to kind of just like grok the energy. You have to just try it on for size, you know. The best way to sort of like call in that success you're looking for, whatever your goal is, whatever you outlined in your mission statement, however you're wanting to hit the mark 40 days from now, you know, what does that new beginning look like for you? What are you creating in your life? Sometimes you kind of have to like try it on for size. It's not really faking it until you make it, because it's actually who you really are. It's just you don't believe it. Somewhere along the way, something knocked your confidence. Maybe you listened to trolls. Maybe you had people who like picked apart what you were doing, or you know, looked for insecurities within you and played on those. You know, some of you have experienced this. Some of you have even experienced this within your family. Some of you have experienced it with your lovers, you know, or your closest friends. And there's this piece about, you have to remember who you are, you know, connecting with your bloodline, connecting with your ancestors reminds you of like the stock you came from, you know, it reminds you of the strengths that you have risen up out of. And it reminds you of all that formidability of energy that's behind you and all of their hopes, all the hopes your ancestors had, that you have an opportunity to make reality through the expression of your life by bringing your Ashe forward in the world. Your Ashe is that essence, that thing that makes you uniquely you, and there's nobody else in the world that has your Ashe. Nobody. You're the only one who has it. It's very special and individual and unique to you, you know, and it wants to be expressed in the world. We all have gifts. Your gifts want to be expressed in the world, but this requires that you have confidence. It requires that you have courage. And so in some ways, it's asking you to just like step up to the plate, you know, step up to the plate. Yeah, you know, you might have to kind of like build yourself up a little bit. And one of the best ways to build yourself up is to start looking at where you're holding space for stuff that tears you down. All right. This piece is really important. You know, I'm not saying that you have people around you who are consciously plotting. All right. Although there's always going to be petty people in the world who don't want to see you do good. All right. That's just human nature. And a lot of times there's people who will be fine to see you do well, just don't do better than them. Okay. So that energy's out there too. All right. But there's this piece about most of the time, all right, and this is where we need to bring compassion in. Most of the time, people aren't aware that that's what they're doing. They're not aware that the facade is cracking, and that's why it comes out as passive aggressive. They're not aware that they're having their own insecurities that are seeping out, and their own fears, all right, about, you know, them being left behind, or, you know, you growing apart from them because you're heading in this new direction and it's changing you. That's also another thing that happens when you set your sights on a goal, on a vision, on a dream, and you choose to invest in it. That's a very transformational process. It changes who you are at the core, on a fundamental level of your being. It's just stabilizing for you too. You know, it's like when you want to go to the next level, the first thing you're going to encounter in your life is fear. Your fear is going to come up. You're going to feel insecure. You're going to wonder if you really can do it. You're going to wonder if anybody's going to be interested in what you have to offer, what you have to bring to the table. You're going to think of all the reasons why you could fail. And again, the fear of failure is another kind of troll. Okay, so a lot of these trolls are hiding out, you know, we think it's all outside of ourselves, but we also have to remember that what we encounter outside of ourselves in our outer reality is a direct reflection of something that's going on inside of us. So we got a bunch of like, trolls hanging out in the root cellar, right? In the subconscious, that drive us forward, that also hold us back, when we listen to them, when we pay those thoughts mind, right? So this is really about pay attention to your crown, all right? Protect your crown as well. I feel like that piece needs to come in right now just because of the energy that is out in the collective. The energy, ooh, a bird just flew by the window when I said that, okay? So important message coming in, time to get this memo. You want to be mindful of tending to the crown chakra right now, tending to Sahasrara. That there is a tendency for there to be too much openness here. There's a lot of expansion happening in the consciousness right now. This can be destabilizing. The tower is happening in the upper channels right now. The tower is blowing our minds open. So as people are starting to feel this expansion in consciousness, they're feeling a little destabilized, and with that destabilization, it makes your boundaries more permeable. Your energetic boundaries become more permeable, which makes it easier for outside energy to get corded into you. Crown, very sensitive, very susceptible right now, right? So I feel like there's almost like a warding that's needed over the crown chakra at this time. A great way to do that is like you can do a head covering, okay? You can wrap a scarf around your head. You can wear a hat. That's another way, just to kind of like cover your head, right? Or have a shawl, even it's a little hot for some of that though, but what I like to do is I like to get like a little essential oil. I like to work with clove oil because it's just so good for nixing any lower vibration energy. It's great for just like clearing something out. Plus, it's really stimulating for the crown, which is kind of nice. It's like clearing and stimulating. So I like how it kind of creates this like expansion, in the upper channels here. But you want to put just like a drop. You can use just like a drop of clove oil, and I would put it in a carrier oil, maybe just like a little argan oil, or you could do like a little almond oil, or even a little olive oil. Any oil will do. You could do coconut oil too. Just like, kind of rub it in your hands, and then just like, get it like all massaged into your crown there. You could do your whole scalp if you wanted, and it just like clear all of these upper channels and allow you to have like a clear connection with your guidance that wants to come in. Because I feel like I'm almost getting this imagery of like, you got your main line, your main link of your own higher guidance with your Atman. Okay, your Atman is considered like that bridge that actually helps you connect with higher consciousness. It's sort of like the main receiver, all right, of any downloads that want to come in, and it funnels through your Atman, your higher consciousness, and that's how you get these thoughts, these visions, these ideas, these inspirations. It's how you connect to spirit as well, all right, how you connect to your spiritual guidance. But along the way, a lot of trolls can come in just in the form of, outside energies that you've given some kind of authority to. These can be parental figures. It can be, mentors you've had. It can be lovers, or anybody that you are seeking some kind of outside validation from, outside approval from. And these people's ideas and perceptions of what you should be doing in your life or how you should be moving can get corded into that crown, and they can act as trolls between your Atman and that bridge of communication between you and your higher consciousness and spirit. So I'm really getting this like clear out the crown right now, you know. Make sure you're practicing good energetic boundaries, and especially up in these upper channels is very, very essential. But I feel like you're coming into your power now, collective. You're about to really move forward, and you're going to move forward to some like crowning moment. And Ted just said, do you need to go potty? You do? All right, Ted needs to go outside. Go ahead, baby. So you're about to have some crowning moment, all right? You're going to have some crowning moment of success. Something you have been working on is about to get its legs. That's what I got, right? And that new beginning you've been wanting, it's about to arrive. But I get that there's this piece that when it arrives, there's like almost this last troll of fear that comes forward, you know, this fear that, can I really like step up into this? And so you might be sabotaged by that, you know, you might be held back by that. And then there's also the piece of, you might also have people around you who might feel a little uncomfortable about you elevating because they're afraid it's going to change you. In fact, some of you may have been hearing things like this, like, you've changed, you're not who you used to be, or you think you're better than us, or you're going to forget all about me, or you never have time for me anymore, or whatever the situation may be. And the reality is, you know, unfortunately, when you do start to really apply yourself and focus yourself in your life, what you do on a day-to-day basis absolutely starts to shift. It changes, right? You don't do the same things that you always did. When you're going after, like, let's say a business goal, okay? You don't have time to sit around, you know, playing on Facebook. You have things you got to do during that time. So maybe you used to have all this free time to connect with people on that level, but you can't anymore because you're actually applying your energy in a new way. You could really take that to heart from people, and there may be people who don't understand, but it's only because they have yet to see that they're not focusing their energy in a constructive way. It's so important at these points, you know, at these checkpoints when you're being challenged, or you're starting to have insecurities, or maybe you're getting backlash from people around you on the way to your goal, on the way to that success that you seek, that you don't allow yourself to be swayed by, you know, these trolls that could hold you back. And you think you owe them something, right? You think, I can't move forward until these people are happy. So you feed the trolls, you know, you give them more power and more authority than they really should have in your life. And that's because you're paying them a very high price. You're paying them attention, all right? So there's this piece right now about really getting back in your own energy, collective. And it's going to be especially important right now because the tendency is to feel very scattered energetically, just with what's going on in the astrology. The astrology is a little bit destabilizing right now. So the more that you can like get yourself centered, get yourself grounded, you know, send down a grounding cord in the morning, you know, just envision some roots coming down from the base of your spine into the ground beneath you, getting really anchored around the core of the earth, drawing up that earth energy until you feel very stable in your body. You can even just draw that earth energy up into your third chakra, Manipura. That's your power center, your solar plexus, at the place on your front body where your rib cage meets, okay? And you can just build that earth energy there up like a sun, and just let that sun grow and expand so it totally surrounds you like a bubble. And that can also help you build this confidence, you know, helps build the courage. It also helps you stay within that energy. And also is a good reminder, like, it's okay. It's okay for me to have my moment. It's okay for me to shine, you know? And maybe you feel a little awkward about that too. I feel like a lot of you are coming toward this moment. You're going to get some kind of recognition, some kind of acknowledgement, some kind of success, and you feel a little insecure about receiving it. It may be due to certain people's opinions about you that you are paying too much mind. There's a need to really pull the energy back from focusing on this and let yourself receive your flowers, okay? So this really coming in, I feel like you're about to move forward very rapidly with something. It seemed like it took a long time to get here. It's moving forward. You're also stepping into your power, because horses are also about power. They're about power and they're about movement. I'm picking up big fire sign energy with this as well. So this could be coming in very strongly for Sagittarius, also for Leo, with that lion energy up there. I also feel like Leo season, it's really popping off. Okay, that's the success point. That is that point, the Aries point with the changing of the nodes when Aries takes over that north node. It's going to be a brand new beginning where you've been applying yourself, where you've been doing your work, where you've really been pouring into yourself and your dreams and your vision. You've been ignoring the trolls, you know. Maybe you've been having a lot of people around you that say you can't do it. They don't believe in you, you know. Maybe you've had people that have been like, you know, sort of like on the down low, putting you down, like they're not going to go anywhere with that. You're going to prove these people wrong. And so there's some piece of this, like you can't hold yourself back right now. You can't let yourself get distracted by what people around you are saying, what they think about what you're doing. Those of you who are on this track and those of you who aren't, you're about to get on it now. If you're going through this whole road opener with us and you're going to go through that Own Your Fire course with us, you will get on this track. You're going to be heading toward a goal. You're going to hit the mark, okay? But along the way to that goal, you're going to encounter all your fears and everything that wants to hold you back from getting there. That's because what so many people don't understand about success, about material success, is that going for a dream, going for a goal, it will challenge you on every level. It's an art of alchemy. There's all kinds of inner work that happens when you are on the path toward a dream. It's a spiritual process. It's a spiritual growth process. So naturally, all your inner trolls are going to start to, you know, come to the surface. And naturally, whatever's happening inside of you is being mirrored back to you in the world around you, right? So you're also going to be more aware of people who, you know, don't smell what you're stepping in. You know, they don't want to give you their endorsement. They don't want to give you their support. They think that you should do something else instead. They have their own ideas about your life, you know, and any time that you're feeling reactive about that, I really suggest you use it as a clue that, wait a minute, I'm feeding the trolls right now because I feel reactive. All right. Reactiveness is a sign that something's distracting you. And this is something you need to be very mindful of right now. We had these two cards come out as well. We got the cats, okay? And we have happiness. And this is backing up exactly what I was saying. You're about to come to this place of success. Whatever you've been working on in Leo season, you're going to have some moment of arrival, okay? You're going to get some attention for this. It's going to be you having to step up into a new dimension of your reality. It's also about you stepping up into a new identity, a new version of yourself, you know, and there's a lot of inner work that comes along the way. I feel like it really pops off in Leo season, but there's going to be people around you who are going to be like, you know, it's that catty energy. This is a very secretive, you know, behind the scenes, like, you know, nobody would tell you this stuff to your face. All right. But yeah, people are talking. People are talking. And that's okay. You know, people are going to have their ideas about this new version of you. But what you need to understand is it doesn't matter what people say. And that's why you can't feed the trolls right now. You can't worry about what so and so has to say about you, or the rumor mill, or any kind of drama on social media, or anything along those lines. All of that is a distraction. All of that is diverting your focus. And when you put your time and your energy there, and you put your awareness there, and when you blame, okay, this person's holding me back, or it's because of this person I can't move forward in life, or they did this to me. As long as you stay in this place, or you keep telling the story over and over again, you keep telling the story of what happened to you and why it was so horrible and why you're where you're at, you can't get beyond it, you are feeding the trolls. And as long as you continue to feed the trolls and you don't pay the toll, you don't get to go over the bridge. All right. And how do we pay the toll? We pay the toll by doing the work to build a bridge and get over it so we can move on and get to the other side. The only one ever holding ourselves back is us. Is us. Nothing outside of you can hold you back unless you give it that authority. You have to be in agreement with that. You have to be in energetic agreement with that dynamic. All right. That's giving somebody else, something outside of yourself, authority of your life. And it's a misidentification. It's mistaking yourself for being powerless to affect change in your world and in your life, when in actuality, you are a creator. And you're being asked to create now. You're being asked to grow into your true identity as a creator and stop living from this place of victimization, playing the blame game and pointing the finger at all these trolls that you are allowing yourself to be distracted by, because you're paying them with your most valuable asset, your time, your energy. And so if you're feeling drained, if you're feeling tired, if you're feeling foggy-headed, if you don't have energy, if you feel apathetic, if you're lacking motivation, it's time for you to stop blaming, and it's time for you to start asking yourself, where am I feeding the trolls? Whether it's the trolls within your subconscious, your own fears, your own insecurities, your own sense of inadequacy, or all your excuses, all the stories you tell yourself for why you're not able to achieve something, why you're not able to do something, why you can't turn the page in your life and have a new beginning. Or whether you're listening to the crap people are saying online, whether you're buying into their opinions of you or their ideas about who you are or what you should do. As long as you are allowing your outside experience to put you in a box or slap a label on you, you are not living out your true identity as a creator. And so it's very important for you to ignore this right now, because you may be having this energy swirling about you specifically to divert you from your path. These energies are front and center. There's a lot of push-pull dynamics going on in the world right now. And we have to remember that when we're in these last stages, these last couple of years of the age of the Kali Yuga, we are dealing with all of the heavier, tamasic kind of emotions. We are dealing with lethargy, laziness, gluttony, greed, sloth, apathy, okay? Lack of motivation, overindulgence, ingratitude, all right? This is the troll. These are the trolls. Collectively, we're all having to overcome this energy because it has a stronghold right now. The energy is supremely oppressive, all right? And there is going to be this energy around you in the collective. We have to also remember that everybody is in that south node of Scorpio, like wading through all their shadow stuff. There's towers being handed out left and right. There's karma being balanced right now. The age of the Kali Yuga is a huge time of karmic balancing, but it's peaking right now. The energy's building. We're moving up to the changing of that south node from Scorpio into Libra. The scales are being balanced. It's rough. You know, it's rough. Accountability's rough at times, you know? And that's the thing, is people would rather just kind of like pass the buck. It's easier to point fingers than it is to take accountability. And yet the energy in play right now requires that we do nothing short of stepping up to the plate. We're going to be held to it, okay? So if anything right now is feeling ambiguous to you, uncertain, unclear, you know, you're hanging out with your friend, you know, they drop a couple comments here and there, and you're like, ugh, you know, that felt kind of icky, all right? That felt a little shade, you know? I felt a little shade there. You don't need to get embroiled with it. You know, it's good to be mindful of it. But there's this piece about don't get distracted by that. First of all, just on the level that everybody's rocking and rolling, everybody is in a process of closing one major karmic cycle to step into a new chapter, a new beginning. And nobody knows where they're going, all right? We're all moving through this thing, feeling it out as we go. We're fumbling around, we're figuring it out. We're all beginners on this road together, okay? We're all in it together. So try to give some compassion on that level too. You don't know where that person's at or what their personal struggle is, what they're going through, and why they might be talking out the side of their neck, okay? They could just be reactive with their own stuff that they got going on in their life. I'm not excusing it. I'm not saying it's cool. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm saying you get a choice as to whether or not you're going to allow yourself to get so like bent by it that you start to invest your focus there and you're paying attention to, you know, where this person's at instead of being mindful about where you're at. So if you're dealing with anything like this, like you're not sure what somebody's intention is, you're not sure, you know, how things are in your connection, you know, you're welcome to open that up to communication. You know, you're going to find not everybody's going to be ready for communication though. And in the cases where things are just too undefined, they're too ambiguous, people are too unclear, or you're constantly dealing with this sort of like subversive undercurrent where you're like, I don't know, something about this dynamic feels off. Like the energy doesn't feel off. You know when the energy's off, right? You know when it's like, this is out of sync. Just trust it. Just trust it. It doesn't mean that there's anything necessarily wrong with that person, though, that this person's your enemy. It just might be like right now that energy is not aligned. And anything that is purposefully creating any kind of stress or hassle or drama or confusion in your life, anybody who's like trying to like run you around in circles, lead you on any kind of wild goose chase, anything like that, or like just stir things up so, you know, they can get your attention. Because, you know, we also have to be mindful that people have their really like young self acting up at this time too. When people feel destabilized, that's when like the young self acts up, okay? There's a lot of temper tantrums out there right now. A lot of people throwing temper tantrums because they're not getting their way. A lot of temper tantrums because people are having to be accountable. They don't like it. It's not fair. I'm used to getting away with this shit. What's this about? Okay, so that energy is very front and center right now. It's about any time you find this in your sphere and you recognize that you're getting pulled into it, or anytime you're like having a conversation with somebody and you notice you got the same tired story coming out of your mouth about what your ex did to you back there, or what your friend did to you last week, or whatever. You are losing the plot. You need to realize at that moment, reel yourself back in and go, wow, I'm still in this place of blaming. I'm still in this place of not taking accountability. I'm still in this place of paying mind to the trolls. I'm still feeding the trolls. I'm not paying the toll. I'm not doing the work. I'm not taking the action to burn off my karma, because that's what karma is. Karma is actions with equal and opposite reactions. It has absolutely nothing to do with like some malevolent force coming for you. That's not how karma works. Karma is the actions you take, okay, in your life, and the subsequent reactions, the results of those actions. Nobody escapes that. It's fundamentally the way reality is structured, okay? So eventually, you know, you may get away with things for a while. You know, let's say if somebody's like moving really out of pocket, they may get away with things for a while, but eventually, you know, if you keep acting from that place, which you will, okay, if you never do the work, if you never pay the toll, and you just keep accruing more of this same kind of energy with these actions you're taking where you're moving out of pocket, eventually there's a buildup of energy, and you know, the chickens come home to roost. All right, the chickens come home to roost. That's the way it works. All right. Karma, from the true perspective of karma, is from the Vedas, okay? So you have to look at karma from a Vedic perspective. Karma are the spiritual life lessons you came in with, all right? You incarnated with certain spiritual lessons, and any lessons that you have not learned in a past life get carried over to the next life, and that is your karma. That is your spiritual work. You pay off your karma, you pay the toll that gets you on that bridge, that gets you over the troubles and the hassles to the other side by doing the work. You don't do the work, then you suffer negative repercussions for that, because that is the accruing of your karma. Your karma is just growing because you're here in this life to do the work that you came in with. You're here to work your spiritual lessons. Okay, that's the perspective of karma. There is no karma is going to get you. No, you're going to get you. You're going to get yourself hung up. See, it's like, it's so interesting. It's like, it's almost like it's almost like this like fragmented, you know, programming that the collective has, where they love to blame something else. They love to have a scapegoat, you know. Well, karma's going to get them. Karma's going to get you. No, there's nothing outside of yourself that's going to get you. You're going to get you. It's all about how you move. It's about the choices you make. You are that accountable. And so, you know, it's about stepping up into that accountability and recognizing when your focus, your attention is being diverted to petty shit. You know, it's when you're paying attention to gossip, or even find yourself involved in gossip. Are you engaging in gossip, you know, with your friends? You need to start looking at that. That's an action you're taking. You're accruing karma, okay? So this is the piece that's happening right now. And it's also the way we lie to ourselves. It's the way we keep things, you know, secret from ourselves. We think that we have no access to this fancy feast. We do. It's right there. It's for the taking. It's for the taking, but we don't even see it. We're not even looking there. We're wondering where our fulfillment is. We're wondering where our happiness is, wondering why we feel so lost. And a lot of that has to do with our energy, our focus is diverted in the wrong directions. We're focusing on stuff that's petty, that doesn't matter. It's trivial, all right? So really, as you move through this cycle, as you move through these 40 days, it's going to be so key that as much as possible, you start to spot the trolls in your life, whether those are stories you tell yourself, whether they're thoughts that kind of hound you, you know, subconscious insecurities, fears that hold you back, or whether they're outside authorities, you know, people that you've given authority over your life because you've taken on their opinions as your own. It's important that you suss this out. And when you start noticing that you're getting caught up in it, when you're feeling activated, when you want to like fire off that post and, you know, read somebody the riot act online, you want to start a flame war, you want to, you know, send that DM, you want to shoot off that text, you got that hair trigger, you know, you want to get your jab in, you want to get into the tit for tat energy. Just recognize that when you do that, you're accruing more karma. When you do that, you're feeding the trolls, you're not paying the toll. And right now the whole goal is to pay the toll, because this is lining up for you. Like this moment of success is lining up for you. You're very, very, very close. You're very close. And you could sabotage yourself right now. And you could sabotage yourself by blaming it on other people, saying they're the problem. They're the ones who are causing you, you know, to not be able to advance towards this success, toward this point of arrival. When in reality, you're doing it to yourself by paying it mind. You got to take more accountability, you know. It might be helpful to kind of pull your energy back a little bit from social media. It might be helpful to hold your tongue, you know, just sort of like put yourself on pause, maybe like log off social media for a minute. If you do feel tempted to get into an online argument, if you do feel tempted to kind of like get caught up in, you know, what somebody's bringing your way there. This is about really being mindful about how you give your power away, how you allow other people to have that kind of sway, that kind of pull, that kind of authority over you. There's too much fear in general in the collective consciousness, thinking that everybody's out there like hexing you or sending you evil eye or, you know, putting something on you. Do you understand how disempowering this is? This is like you saying you have no responsibility in this situation at all. It's absolute BS. The reality is you get to decide what you enter into energetic agreement with. And if you believe that somebody can have that kind of power over you, they will. The only way you can take on any energy that's coming at you, and I'm not saying that, you know, you don't ever deal with somebody being envious of you or somebody being angry towards you, or, you know, just not wanting to see you happy, not wanting to see you succeed. Of course, that energy's out there, all right? But you don't need to enter into energetic agreement with it. Ground, shield, have good energetic hygiene. Take the time to do it. It's important. It's part of doing the work. It's part of paying the toll, you know, to make sure your energy is right. What energy are you bringing to the day? Forget about what energy other people are bringing you. What energy are you bringing to the table? That requires maintenance. That requires work. That requires focus. That's a karma all its own, okay? As you get in your own energy, as you start to pull your focus and your attention away from what's been a distraction for you up to this point, that relationship that you can't seem to get on the same page, the work situation that just doesn't seem to be ironing out, you know, your financial troubles that continue to just like hit one obstacle after the next, you know, your health, you know, that continues to plummet. As you start to really get in your own energy and you stop being distracted, you start really focusing, and especially working with the course, you know, what's outlined in the course, like really getting clear, taking those steps, actually working the course, doing the work of the course, of the Own Your Fire course. As you start to get this dialed in, you're going to be able to shift your focus. And when you shift your focus towards your mission statement, everything changes. It's like the mission statement becomes your bullseye, you know, and you get this like laser light focus on the bullseye. And once you're in this place, you know, it's almost like horse is awesome. When horses are in a race, like you're going to move forward quickly. All right. I really feel this. You're going to be moving forward quickly and with power. You're leveling up, all right? It's like there's something about this. This is a big moment of success for you, and it brings happiness. it brings happiness. Look, it's blessed by spirit with the 7 energy, right? This is what you've been wanting. It's everything that is going to be the reward for all the monotony, all the day after day grind, right? And also during some of this process, you know, heading up to this point of arrival, this moment of success that you'll reach, you know, you'll hit the mark. If you keep your focus, if you keep your eyes on the prize, you'll hit the mark. You'll move forward a lot quicker than you expect, you know. This whole idea of like, I'm held back, it's never happening, it's not coming. Well, it's not happening because y'all aren't doing the work. You know, collective's not doing the work. They're still like playing the blame game. I don't think people really like realize how much we became demotivated and conditioned to be demotivated, to feel powerless, to feel like we didn't have any options as we did, you know, when everything happened in 2020. It's very much been in the algorithm, the programming, okay? So this consciousness shift, it requires work, right? It's not going to be easy to exorcise those trolls, you know, of that programming that came in with everything that destabilized our whole world in 2020, right? You do have the ability to affect change in your life and in the world around you. You do have the ability to be an agent of change in the reality that the world faces today, all right? But it begins first by you taking your part of the responsibility in your own life and getting that dialed in, okay? I want to see, what is this moment of success that's coming toward the collective? What is this moment of success that's coming toward the collective, Spirit? If they do the work, if they just, you know, don't allow themselves to be distracted by the trolls, and they actually pay the toll and do the work, do the karmic clearing work, what is this moment of success that comes in? Woo! Look at that. I love it. Look at that. The sun. Again, Leo season. I really feel like August is such a time of harvest, right? This is really when the sun is going to come shining through. It's going to take just a little momentum to build, you know, once we have that changing of the nodes of destiny, which I believe happens on July 18th, okay? That's when the old cycle ends, the new cycle begins. And so there's like this freeing up of energy. And if you get started now, like building the momentum, you'll have a certain force behind you that will help push you forward into this, like, I'm almost seeing it as like a birthing canal. Like you'll be pushed through the birthing canal into your new chapter with more ease. But in August, you really see the manifestation of this success, of this happiness. You're going to be in a whole new reality at that time. You're also going to have a clear sense of direction. You're finding a direction that's aligned with your heart. It does come with some flares, some solar flares, all right, with that energy here. I believe like those flares, first of all, there's been solar flares, you know, we've also had a lot happening with the frequencies around us, which is another reason why people are feeling kind of so activated, why the energy is so strange, you know. If you didn't tune in to that new moon read I did, you might want to check that out, because I talk a lot about sort of like this general air of paranoia and anxiety and just, yeah, just kind of sketchy vibes. And also, you know, a fair share of aggression, especially coming from the masculine. So you do want to be mindful of this. These energies are out there. There are some flare-ups, okay? There are some flare-ups along the way. I think you're also flared up along the way. You know, everybody's flared up. You can match fire with fire, but that's going to be destructive. Okay, again, I just get this hit, you know, what the download is that when you feel reactive, it's so important at that time for you to go, distraction. Okay, I'm feeling reactive. This is actually distracting me from something I should really be focusing on. So what's really going on there? You know, that's a clue for you to help do some of your shadow work as you invite this light, this expansion into your life. So you can really let this happiness in that wants to come in for you. I mean, the sun, it's such happiness, such joy. You know, Leo season is going to be such a time of confidence and really realizing, like, those of you who are choosing growth, you're going to realize I made the right choice because look at what is coming to light in my life now. Like, there's so much coming in that's just lighting up my world and everything's moving and I feel like I'm aligned in my heart and it feels so good, you know. There's uncertainties getting there, okay? There's flare-ups getting there. There's also, you know, you're having your own like consciousness flares, like you know, you're having your own like world rocked in terms of your world view, the way you're seeing things, the way you're seeing yourself. Everything's shifting, okay? You know, it takes chaos to birth a star. It takes chaos to birth a star. And chaos is that creative force that moves through the world, that moves through the multiverse. You know, this planet wouldn't even be here if it weren't for chaos, you know, and people have such a complicated relationship with chaos, but it's because we resist it. We resist the creative force. We like to stay within the realm of logic, of containment. It gives us a false sense of control when the reality of life and the reality of nature is far more dynamic than that. It's far more unpredictable. It's far more spontaneous. And it's when you're able to sort of embrace this spontaneity that you're able to get the biggest gifts. It's like grab bag energy. You don't know what you're going to pull out of this, but if you're willing to dive your hand into that bag, you know you're going to pull something out of it and it's going to be a surprise. There's some gift there for you, okay? So as much as you may feel, you know, kind of like this agitation build or this frustration build because you don't have all the answers, or maybe people around you are acting strange, or you know, people don't get what you're doing, or you don't get what other people are doing. It can work both ways. There's a lot of mirroring going on right now. It's about not getting locked into a fixed mindset. It's about not getting locked into a fixed position. It's about riding the energy, even if it means a wild ride. You know, it's okay. Let it carry you. Let it carry you. And where it doesn't feel good, where it feels too sharp, you know, where it feels too disruptive, where it feels too dramatic, where it feels too subversive or too unclear, like just simply pull your focus, your energy, your attention away from that person or that situation and funnel it on your target, on your mission statement, on what you're calling into being. And always bring it back to you, you know. That's really the key. That's really the key. It lines you in your heart. It lines you up in your heart. It brings you also into a place of alignment with another. There's a lot that is being inspired through the pains that you have been through in your past. You may not realize the beauty in the struggle. You may not appreciate it right now, how much the struggle is actually the thing that is tempering you, is actually the thing that is allowing you to go to this place of alchemy where you can transform and refine yourself and really step into this place of living from your heart, owning your fire, living a life of passion and purpose. I mean, anybody can do what they're told. Anybody can fall in line. Even anybody can follow the formula. You know what I'm saying? Anybody can follow the, you know, the plans that, you know, their family laid out for them or that society has assigned to them, or authority figures have told them is their place in life. You know, anybody can follow the status quo. But when you're really like igniting your fire and you're choosing to bring your own creative force forward in the world, your shade, your unique gifts, your contribution, when you're ready to like bring your voice forward, when you are ready to activate your vision and really live from that place of your truth and go for the dream, go for the gold, that's what alchemy is all about. It's about working with all that base material, to transmute the lead, into gold. This is going for the gold. This is landing in that place and feeling grateful when you get there for the hardship, because you recognize, if it weren't for the challenges I went through, if it weren't for those difficulties, if it weren't for all of the people that didn't believe in me, I would have never gotten to this place of really being able to step into this and embodying the truth that this is who I am. And this is how I was meant to express myself in the world all along. Don't pay things lip service. You don't need to explain what drives your heart forward. You don't need to explain your calling to anyone. It's your calling. It's just about you answering the call and living from that place. And when you arrive there, it'll be evident to everybody why you were driven to head in this direction. And you'll also prove something to yourself, because there's something very powerful about when you choose to go your own way. You got to understand that that's a very deep healing. When you choose to trust your own voice, your own vision, I mean, that's personal alchemy. That is spiritual growth. And the path is such, any spiritual path requires at times that we have to go our own way. We have to walk alone. We have to be the lone wolf. Only we got the scent of that trail. It's our calling. It's our moon that's guiding us during that time of darkness when we may feel like, we're a stranger in a strange land, or nobody gets us, nobody sees our vision. They can't see the light that we see up ahead. They're all still fumbling around in the dark, but we see there's somewhere to go. We got something that's calling us to rise up to a new potential within ourselves and in the world around us, right? But there are people who will join you along the way. I got that. You're going to align with other people who also are visionaries like you. They also have a sense of purpose like you. And you're going to feel the gratitude of everything you went through, because you're going to discover the qualities that it caused you to have to cultivate so you could rise up out of that. Pain serves its purpose, right? There will come a point in your life when you will be grateful for the pain. You'll be grateful for what it taught you. Yeah. The flame, it's interesting because with this particular deck, the flame, it's like we give the devil so much power, something outside of ourselves, this outside, boogeyman, we give it so much power. And the reality is, the flame in this deck, it means it's not anything. It's not as bad as we think it is. We don't really have anything to worry about. Like, anything we're dealing with right now is not the end of the world. It's a flash in the pan. It's just a little flare. Okay. It's just a little flare up. That's all. It's going to pass. It's not going to have any detrimental effect on your life or hold you back in any way, unless you add fuel to the fire by focusing on it and feeding the trolls. Okay. So this is about staying out of that place of reactiveness and just letting things flow. Cut of the deck energy. Yeah, you got these keys. They're all inside you. You got a way forward. You get to choose how you want to move forward. You got a few different keys here, all right? But only one key is going to open up this door of opportunity that aligns you with your purpose, all right? And so it's up to you to really be mindful about what is that key for you. It has everything to do with you listening to your own personal truth, to trust your intuition, to trust where you feel pulled right now. What door are you wanting to open? Trusting yourself and your vision is the key that opens up your door of opportunity, right? And there you are. It's like cat lady energy, okay? You may have to go your own way for a while. You know, you may have to be on your own. It's cool. It looks like you're pretty relaxed. It looks like you're pretty chill, you know? You know what you're doing. Other people might not understand. You might have a lot of people who are curious about what you're up to. I also feel this too, all right? You're going to have this experience as you pull your energy back and you start focusing on your mission statement that hopefully, you know, if you haven't drawn it up yet, please have it drawn up before Wednesday when we drop in for the next live. So you really have like a clear vision set as we move into the second week. All right. But I feel like, you know, as you pull your energy back to start focusing on, you know, really giving your all to your mission statement, you're going to notice that people are going to start to come around more to distract you. All right. It's going to be very, very interesting that people that haven't had any time for you, people that haven't been paying you any mind, people you haven't heard from in age, all of a sudden they're all going to be reaching out to you. And, you know, this is a distraction too. All right. This is a distraction too. And you'll know because it's not going to feel right. It's going to feel like invasion of your boundaries, right? I'm not saying you have to cut people off while you're going for your goal as you move through these next 40 days, but I am saying that your mission statement should be your priority. It should be where you're focusing the bulk of your time, your attention. It's like the center point, the bullseye that you build everything else around, okay? So it's like everything else is on the periphery of this focus. And you can compartmentalize, you know, you can have time for dropping in with your friends. You can have time for just like relaxing, chilling. This is important too, right? It's all about developing that moderation, that sense of balance. But when you set aside time, you're like, this is what I'm doing. I'm focusing on my work. You need to make sure that you hold those boundary lines. It's super important because if you don't hold those boundary lines, if you allow your boundary lines to be permeable, then you're going to get distracted by others' demands, others pulling on you, and then you're going to veer off track and you won't hit the mark. Okay. So there is this piece here really asking us collectively to just focus on the work at hand and do what we need to do to pay the toll, to get over that bridge instead of feeding the trolls, which just keeps us stuck. Just keeps us stuck, all right? I want to go ahead and just do one final like pass with my shadow and light deck, my bicycle playing cards, just to look at some of the shadow and light aspects in play in our situation. All right, let's see here. What does the collective need to be aware of as they're setting their mission statement? So they're getting all their vision, their focus dialed in. So they're delineating their boundaries around, you know, what their time and energy is going to be used for, where they need to kind of like pull back. What does the collective need to be aware of? What are the elements in play for them throughout the weekend that they need to be mindful of? Okay, we got Jack of Diamonds energy, Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. This is about planting the seed for moving forward. It's about understanding that the reward is not going to happen instantaneously. It does require work. It does require that you create some structure. It does require that you have good boundaries. It does require you make it a priority, okay? As long as you commit to this and you play your part, you know, you take accountability, you do the work, you're going to find that you got divine play on your side coming in the light here, okay? there's some like big leap forward I got. As long as you plant the seed, I feel like this is the main thing right now. If you plant this seed in the form of your mission statement, where you really make a commitment, I'm going to give my focus bringing this thing into being in the next 40 days, you're going to find that all the synchronicity is going to line up for you, all right? It's almost like Spirit's asking you to make this commitment right now and to be willing to see it through. If you do, you're going to find that things line up for you so easily. It brings you big success with the 6 of clubs. Big success, all right? Big success, a real moment of arrival, like I was talking about. There's some moment of arrival. You will hit the mark. You're really going to have something to celebrate. And I feel like there's going to be acknowledgement. So if you are dealing with trolls right now, if you are dealing with people who maybe they don't, support something you're doing or a direction you want to head in or a dream you have or a career path you want to explore, whatever your goal is, okay? If for one reason or another you have naysayers around you, you have trolls around you, and you've been letting this distract you too much, just be mindful of what's going to happen at the end of these 40 days when you focus on your mission statement, you have some good boundaries, you take accountability, and you block out time to really focus on this and direct your energy in a new way instead of getting caught up on how everybody else is feeling about your life or what they think you should be doing. You're going to really have this moment of success, arrival. And then it's like the proof is in the pudding. People are going to see it. There's going to be no other option but to acknowledge it. I really feel that, okay? And it's really about you realizing, what needs to be blocked, all right? With this 2 of spades, you need to block out anything that's keeping you, kind of tethered to this old identity you have of yourself, which is what you're trying to shed right now. That's the old you that thinks that you have all these limitations, you have all these blocks, you have all these obstacles, you have all these reasons why you can't succeed, or all these reasons that it's better to just forget about it because you have too much piled up against you. It's just harder for me. There's the haves, the have-nots, and I'm always on, the shit end of the stick, right? It's about not buying into that line of bull and really proving to yourself what you're capable of. When you block out the distractions, when you block out the negativity, when you block out what's distracting you, when you set the template for your future by preserving your boundaries and focusing your energy and really pouring everything you got into it, look, it leads to your wish fulfillment with the 9 of hearts, okay? It leads to your wish fulfillment. Maybe for some of you, this is something you've wanted to achieve before. Maybe you failed in the past, and so you feel like a sense of insecurity about that. This is believing that you can turn this around, that no matter what you're facing, no matter what obstacles are in front of you, you got what it takes to move forward. And there's this piece here, like Spirit is so saying, look, miracles are all around you. There's solutions that you can't even imagine right now. You're going to be given every key you need to open that door of opportunity. But what we need from you is for you to plant this seed, to make this commitment, and to have the willingness to do the work to see it through. And you're going to get a reward. You will get a reward. Big fire sign energy. There's that King of Clubs. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And I feel like it's that reaffirmation. It pops off with Aries in the North Node. It happens in Leo season. And you really step into your own individuality and sense of personal empowerment. This is about just for once, invest in yourself. Maybe you've been investing in a lot of other people. Maybe you've been the cheerleader, the supporter for somebody else's dream, somebody else's vision. Maybe you've been there, helping out another. Maybe it hasn't even been appreciated. Meanwhile, you're spilling out all this energy and nothing's growing in your own life, okay? This is about you just for once in your life, letting it be about you and investing in yourself and what you want to create for yourself and your own personal dreams, and recognizing that this is what's going to light you up. This is like you getting back in your element. It's like you getting your mojo back, you know? And it's about walking away from this stuff. Water sign energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio in the shadow, okay? Scorpio South Node. It's about not staying in the shadows anymore. It's time for you to come out of the shadows. It's time for you to step into the light. You know, as long as you stay stuck in the shadow, this 9 of diamonds stays in the shadow too. You don't get the growth. You don't feel like you're in your element. You don't feel like you're in your place of empowerment. All right. That's your birthright. You're meant to step up into, okay? You got karmic work to do. You got work to do. Nobody's going to hand it to you. You got to work for it, okay? You got to stop feeding the trolls, and you got to start feeding the vision, all right? Oh, I can't make it up. Look. This is how you balance the karma. This is how you balance the karma. This is why I love using the shadow light deck, okay? Any final words, Spirit, for the collective? Any final words for the Spirit? Any final words for the Spirit? Maybe you need to communicate with Spirit a little bit more. Maybe you need to ask for more guidance, you know, work more in partnership with Spirit if you're feeling like you're really stuck. Yeah, you know, we got 10 of diamonds coming up in the shadow as a crossing influence. So, you know, this is something that's really holding a lot of you back. It has a lot to do with that 10th house. It has a lot to do with the Capricorn energy, which is the Saturnian energy. Makes complete sense. You know, we got Saturn going retrograde out of Pisces. It's slowly going to be making its way back into Aquarius. All right. But this is like kind of like going over old ground. Maybe have a look at where you have kind of like sabotaged yourself in the past. Like think about if you're dealing with insecurity, like let's say you're going for a goal that's something you went for before and you didn't hit the mark, and that's why you're feeling like you don't have what it takes to make this thing happen. Or maybe you have people around you, you know, well-meaning loved ones that are reminding you of when you tried to do that last time and you didn't succeed at it, okay? And so they're trying to divert your attention to maybe making a different choice or heading in a different direction. And you're starting to take this on board. You're starting to think, maybe I don't have what it takes, you know? This is really about you understanding that there's something, anytime you got trolls coming at you, it's also a clue to like look at what are they seeing in you that is, you know, rousing in them this desire to hold you back. Because that's what a troll does, right? A troll prevents you from crossing the bridge. You got to pay the toll to cross the bridge, which is doing the work, right? So if you got trolls coming at you, if you got people like feeding your insecurities, what are they trying to hold you back from? What is that about, right? And so that gives you a clue. There must be something. There must be something they see there's there for you to gain if you step into this, you know? For some people, if you step into your empowerment, if you go for this goal and you hit the mark, maybe you won't be taking their crap anymore because you'll have a certain sense of, you know, inner strength, confidence, you know. You'll realize that you are capable of so much more. Maybe that will make you less dependent on them, you know. Maybe that makes them feel insecure, okay? There's a lot of different ways that could play out, but this is about you, you know, looking at, okay, let's say you have gone for this before. You didn't hit the mark. All right, what got in your way? That's sort of what that whole environmental inventory is about. You know, it could be that when you went for this goal in the past, you just weren't setting yourself up for success. Well, you have an opportunity to do things different now. And that's also what that Jack of Diamonds energy is about. It's about really like laying down a solid foundation, which is why we're setting our sights, getting really clear about our personal vision with our mission statement, how we're looking at ways that could, get in the way of us hitting the mark by checking out our environment. Where do we need to stabilize things? Where do we need to make it easy to focus our attention on what's progressive, on what's going to grow, grow fruit, on what's going to help us grow and step up to a new level, a new reality. All right. I'm going to do a cut of the deck energy here. This feels pretty complete. Yeah, because here's the reality. Right now, you're just preparing for these ships to come in. All right? That's all. You're assured of this. 6 of Wands energy to 3 of Wands energy. This is about you really just preparing for these ships to come in. Before a ship can dock, right? There's certain things that need to be in place. You need to create the space for it to come in. So that's what you're doing right now. And part of preparing the space for your dreams to come in is making sure that you're surrounded by, supportive energies, all right? So if you're around people that are making you feel like you don't got what it takes, or you feel a ding to your confidence when you're around these folks, or if you're noticing when you're on social media, you do too much kind of contrast and compare, you look at, oh, well, this person's so much more successful than me, or they got this going on, and I'm way behind. Any of these outside elements that put you into this place of focusing more on why you might not get to your goal, all right? That's a troll. And that's what you need to divert your attention from, because the only thing that's going to hold you back at this point are your own thoughts and fears with the 9 of spades. And you don't get to use the excuse of, well, this person, is putting this on me, it's all their fault, they won't believe in me, so I can't make them mad. I can't disappoint them. They're not going to approve of me going in this direction, whatever it may be, okay? The reality is you're meant to align here with your purpose, okay? You're meant to align with your purpose. And you're blocking your own healing and your own alignment by putting your purpose in others' hands, letting them define your purpose for you or your potential for you, and as long as you do that, you're in this place where you don't get to get a seat at the table. You don't get to discover what's possible for you. You don't get to learn anything new. You don't get to grow, and you don't get to enter into that divine play of life. Okay. So don't do that anymore. All right. You gotta, be careful about, letting down your guard around these energies that actually, just create more blockages in your life. You need to go where there's flow with the 6 of Diamonds. And if you do that, you're really going to find that a lot frees up for you. Okay. So this is what seems to be the download right now. It seems to be what wants to come in for all of you. If you have any questions, I think a lot of you are going to catch the replay. 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time might be too early for the lives on a Saturday. I know people like to sleep in, so if a time change on that for Saturday would serve you all better, let me know. But any questions that you have about the Own Your Fire course, feel free to leave me a comment, and I will always be there to respond and answer any questions you have. Get your mission statement together. Look at what you need to cut off in your life that's acting as a troll, that's going to hold you back from crossing that bridge, building a bridge, getting to the other side of it so you can start, you know, a whole new path that wants to open up before you. All right. You got a big door of opportunity to step into, collective. Okay. And only you can hold yourself back by paying mind to the trolls and feeding them with your time, your energy, and your attention. Don't sabotage yourself like that. The end result, what's on offer, it's too sweet. It's too sweet of a reward. Pay the toll. Do the work.